Hey guys, Ken here from Backpacking Light. Talk about the new backpack from Sarek. This is a backpack I designed myself. What I was looking for is a 40 to 45 liter backpack that was really light but also very comfortable and robust. I wanted something that had the pockets I needed without too much. It would be extremely comfortable with or without a hip belt. So right now, as you can see, I don't have a hip belt, but we actually have a hip belt that is included. It's a light strap, basically. It's all you needed. But we're also looking at selling a more robust, bigger, thicker hip belt if you feel that you need that. On all the packs I design, I make the straps. We do use the S-shaped shoulder strap, and that's just because it works better with or without a hip belt than J straps. Most J straps, if you don't have a hip belt on, then they'll tend to squeeze on your neck, and then you have to do certain designs in the pack. For example, stretch out or point out the shoulder straps like this so that it works better and so on. But I find that this kind of S form that we have on these straps, it's actually just a better overall design than the J straps, as it works better with women and it works better with or without a hip belt. So it's just a better design. It demands producers, the guys, or the Anna who sits and sews a lot of these packs. She hates them because there's a lot of extra work to do these kind of straps instead of just the J straps. But because it's such a better product than the J straps, then I just prefer that we have the S straps. Also, a standard design with this one and the Ilforce that we have is that I use a daisy chain instead of, pockets and everything else. And that's just because most people already have pockets. And we're talking that usually breaks after about a season or two is when you'll start getting holes in those Lycra pockets. So I've just kind of avoided having that. It does come with a chest strap. I don't have that on at the moment. Just because it's not needed how I have it now. I have about 6-7 kilos in the backpack, and it just feels great at this weight. We also make big difference. I guess the biggest difference between this one and the Ilforce is that this one is a roll top that you can cinch onto the sides. You can see that on the side picture there. And it's got these 3 big pockets that are all separated instead of the one big one. And I'll show us side by side, this one and the Ilforce. And this one also has a bottom pocket, actually. And this is great for, come, cold. I'm gonna go in. Oh. Put her in the car. So this one has a bottom pocket on it, and you can kind of see that here. And that's mainly for gloves, maybe some, rain skirt if you have that, candies, that kind of stuff. So it's not meant to hold anything big. It's purely just for when you're walking, you don't want to stop. You get your candies out, eat your candies while you're walking. This is a fast pack. That's what it's meant for, the long hikes. You also get these 2 big side pockets that you can easily reach without any problems. Now this pack is also designed to be fitted depending on your back size. That's not something we really did with the Ilforce, because the Ilforce was meant basically to not have a hip belt. But we found that quite quickly that most people use the hip belt anyway, so the balance would be really off if you had a hip belt on the Ilforce, because it wasn't designed depending on your torso length. So we've changed that even on this one and on the Ilforce so that it's different size depending on how tall you are. And that's just so that it'll work better with the hip belt. So if you put a hip belt on one that's your right torso size, then the balance will be quite nice on your body. On the Ilforce, if you're taller and you use a hip belt, then it just gets strange looking like this, and the balance is just all off. And so we just changed that because we found that it's better to make the product a little more flexible, I guess. You can see this is the black Dyneema Ilforce. This one weighs about 400 grams empty, or I guess about 420 grams, I guess, now, since we did a few extra things on it. There are some changes between this and the production model. Some of the biggest differences being this here, the guy lines will be replaced with just basically a simple buckle here, because that's basically all you need, as the pockets carry everything you need in it, and then you just need a buckle if you have a tripod or your trekking poles or something like that. You can also see that it's a cinch top exactly like the Il Force, but on this one, or if I can, so now you can see I've got the 3mm Sarek gear Eva foam pad here, and that just cinches on quite nicely here. And this one adjusts. You've probably seen this on a couple different backpacks. Is that I just find this to be the best solution, and it's just the simple that you can adjust it if you need something really wide. Pull it in, and simple as that. This one you can buckle to the sides, or if you really fill it up, then of course you can even buckle it like that. It's up to you. And you can see I've got some packed stuff in there. Now, I'll bring the Il Force here so that you can kind of see the two. Il Force and the Rapa sack side by side. Quite similar in a lot of things, but we got a lot of customer questions, especially from people who didn't own the Rapa, which is why is it just one big pocket instead of having three? Because a lot of people weren't sure if you could actually have a water bottle in this, but I mean you can. This can be used on the Il Force. It can be used with either these three pockets. You have one, the big one, 2, 3, or if you want just one big pocket, then you can just open that up, put all your wet gear and so on. Now this is the Il Force with our new material that we're using, which is the Ultra Weave 400. We use 400 and 200. The midnight blue is this color here. This specific color is midnight blue. It's the Ultra Weave 400. Now the Il Force is meant to be the lightest pack for its size that you can buy, and I think it reaches that. I think for as big as it is, I mean, if you put this up to pretty much any ultralight 40-liter pack, both of these are going to seem huge in comparison. And that's just how we design them. We design them to be proper 40-liter packs and upwards. For example, I would say this is about 48 liters in the main compartment and an extra 8 or 9 liters here. We sell it as a 40-liter pack. And this one is about the same, but about 45, 46 liters in the main compartment, and then it's got these 3 big pockets in the one under. We don't even count those in. Both of them are frameless. Eventually we'll put a frame in them, but at the moment, as an ultralight hiker, I rarely ever need more than 40 liters, and I rarely ever need anything that carries more than 9 kilos in it. So they're specialized packs. They're meant to be the lightest in the market for what they do, and they pretty much accomplish that. So the Il Force has these 2 long daisy chains that run down the front, and this is if you want to strap things here, basically. Still same concept, but now you have this big, and this is the NTN reflector mesh. It's a very specialized, extremely robust mesh that we use here. Now we do use a weaker lycra here, but I've found that on the bottom compartments I haven't really had any issue of this kind of lighter mesh being down there, the lycra, and I found that it's held up quite well on some of the other backpacks I have that had that pocket, so I don't really see any issue with that. In case you're wondering, well, how can they use, it seems like so, you know, weak to have on the bottom of your backpack, but I mean, I guess unless you're doing like this on rocks daily, I don't really see, you know, it being realistic that that's gonna rip up on you. I mean, there's not really a whole lot more to say about it. It's a proper 40-liter ultralight backpack. It's gonna last for a long, long time. These are made in our factory in Umeå. Yeah, so the Sarek Gear 40-liter Rapa. hope you liked the review, or overview I guess is what we can call it. Cheers.